Obviously, Campo boys is consistently a pretty dominant force in cross country, but recent years we haven't been able to get it done. I remember my freshman year, we had a really strong team, and even then, I think we finished second or third at the state meet. It was just it was pressure to kind of get back to the top where we know that we should be at, but maybe recent seasons we haven't been able to get there. Just to prove to ourselves and everyone else that we still have it.
I remember coming into this team as a freshman thinking, I'm just going to get in shape for basketball or whatever other sport I was doing at the time. You learn that you are expected to perform for a team that's done so many great things in the past, and you quickly become a runner on this team that expects something of themselves as well.
Being on such a competitive team, it kind of forces you to be on your A game every time, every practice, and make sure you're putting in the work during practice and outside of practice, because you know that on a team so deep, if you want to make the varsity team to postseason, you have to be on top of everything, because that's the expectation for all the athletes. So if you want to be one of the 7, it's every run, every training, and it's good because we also are able to push each other really well at practices and races. It just ends up being where we have such a deep team that even our JV boys, even some of the top boys on the JV team could very well be like varsity athletes too, which just really extends our dominance over the other teams.
Seriously, it's poker. It's poker, Sid. Jesus.
Respond to these behind surges. You gotta be paying attention. Don't let your guard down.
I think that the Campolindo program is really precise and detailed, and I think that ability that your number 1 runner can run with your 10th runner is really inspirational, because you can see one of the best runners in the program history. But if you're just a frost-off runner, you can see what they're doing and you can copy after them. And I think that cross country and track, it's a really different sport than what I'm used to, because you can't just work harder or run harder than anyone else, because that leads to injury. You have to be consistent and really focus on recovery, because it's not as important as the run.
As one of the best cross-country programs in the state, consistently going to the state meet and finishing well historically, to even make it to that team, to the state team, you need to be running your best all season and really prove that you're the best runners on the best team in the state, to be able to have us show up again and again at every state meet.
I think personally I've had a big progression of my mindset around that whole motivation for running, and I think in my earlier years I always limited myself, but especially this last year, new runners people like Caden and the really deep sophomore team, it motivated me to break out of my comfort zone and not limiting myself. And I think a lot of people have similar experiences, but people around you definitely push you to break out of that comfort zone.
Well, we had a really good group in every workout. We had people right next to each other pushing the pace And what was really good is that people would challenge each other. We had a lot of competitors on our team. I remember after Dow 2, going on to Dow Champs, everyone really wanted to take those varsity spots, and we really pushed that long run that day. We ran like 6:10 pace for 10 miles. And it really shows how like everyone, even from not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but like from 5 to 10, how people were pushing and really, really trying to make an impact because they knew they wanted to be part of a team that was going to achieve the thing that we've always been working on. People wanted to be on this team.
Pressure can go both ways, positive and negative. You know, pressure pushes you to do good things and, you know, perform really well. I mean, this year everyone lived up to the pressure. Everyone embraced it. You know, everyone was super locked in and ready to go, and the pressure only helped them succeed. So, you know, I've been running for 7, 8 years now. I've learned over time how to deal with that. What's good about having a sophomore team is that now we're all getting ready to actually understand how do we approach the pressure, how do we approach all the difficult byproducts of running a really tough and challenging race.
By holding the same standards for everybody at practice and at races, everybody's running the best that they can. Like, nobody's on the team just to run. We're here to like win and do well and succeed. Everybody trains together, so it's not, if you're on the varsity team, you have a varsity practice, a JV practices together. Everybody runs together. Everybody's kind of gunning to be the best. Everyone's gunning to be at varsity, going to state.
A lot of my friends say, oh my gosh, like, he's making you do all this stuff. Why do you even do it? And it's more of a choice than you're getting forced to do it. Coach Chuck, he tells us everything that we need to do in order to be great, and it's a choice of whether or not we want to push ourselves, we want to push our teammates into achieving that.
Everybody has their bibs.
Yes.
You ready to show your bibs when we get to the entrance?
Yes.
Use the restroom while we're here.
CIF would also like to thank CCPOA, California Correctional Peace Officers.
Mirren, we're here in the Campolindo cross-country lounge. We've had a few upgrades. Can you talk about those upgrades and how this is impacting your experience today?
Shanina got us these like wonderful little bench chairs for all of us. You know, I think we're a lot more comfortable than we were at NCS or like our other league meets. I think like, you know, we're together and the chairs, they're nice, they're really nice. We don't need to sit on the floor or anything. Obviously it's not raining, but our bags aren't gonna get dirty or wet or anything. Really grateful for that. I feel like I can relax better. Yeah.
We're at State, Woodward Park in Fresno, and we'll be racing at the state meet.
Caitlin, there's a lot of glitter going on today.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that? How is that going to impact your performance?
Kiki wants to say something.
Oh, I brought the glitter.
It was Kiki brought the glitter, and then we couldn't do any face decorations. Like we were gonna do stars, but we couldn't do that. But we're allowed to do stuff with our hair, so we did hair glitter.
I think I had like a really amazing season and I improved a lot. I had kind of like a bad track season last year, so it's like feels really good to come back from that like stronger. I'm excited that I'm here at the state meet. Even though like it's my first time here, like I'm happy to be with everyone here.
The conditions are nice, it's a little chilly, it's very gray. Last year it was super sunny, but the course is really nice.
The dirt's really compact.
It's super compact, it's great for super shoes. Last week was awful, it was muddy everywhere, it was slippery and muddy.
It was a river.
I'm really proud of us for qualifying for state and for making it here, and I think we've all like pulled it together and come together as a team.
direction, La Costa Canyon of Carlsbad, their 14th consecutive state meet. Tough individual for them, Hannah Gordon, the sophomore who was 8th in the San Diego race.
We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate.
We're gonna have something to celebrate.
Box 3A, the second place team last year. They've won 4 of the last 6 championships. Campolindo of Moraga. They've been in the top 6 10 years in a row. Top 10 18 years in a row. They're led by 2 sophomores.
On your mark.
State is a 15-minute race, but you really see the work at State in June and July. You see all these teams run like courses like Woodward and all these super fast courses where they have their racing shoes on and they're peaking and they're running super fast times, and that's just not Campo. I mean, we might not race well at NCS, but that's because that we train for State. It's such a long process.
After NCS, when they lost, I think they realized they could have won. Maybe they realized they weren't doing enough. Maybe they realized they could do more. And so going into State, I think they had a different mindset before NCS, and they were more ready for it than they were for NCS. Their race is just a testament to how much they focused in beforehand and their dedication after NCS, because they weren't ranked very high coming in, but when they actually raced, they showed us and they showed everyone what they could do and what they were capable of. They wanted it a lot, and they went out there and they raced and they did well.
Had a really good run. Usually she's not up there at the very top, but she had a really good race. I remember Mackenzie also had a pretty good race, and then Anya had a pretty good race too.
Right now we got South Pass at 45, Point Loma at 62, Cathedral Catholic at 66, Santa Margarita at 69, and Campolindo at 90. Wide open division here still, so everybody has 5 o'clock.
I remember Miriam was always just kind of like middle of the pack. Then I remember at one race she ran like, maybe it was like mid-season, or she ran like 5:14 or something crazy, and I was just like, where did she come from? Like it was crazy, and it was really inspirational for me, and I think for a lot of other people.
Be very careful taking out your safety pins.
there was a lot of this expectation, especially after winning NCS, that we're going to come into this state weekend. We were ranked #1 by Rich Prep Caltrack. That doesn't typically give us very nice rankings. We came into the race knowing like we have it in our hands. Like the only way we lose if we just drop the ball. It was super nerve-wracking.
Highest of Mill Valley, led by Marco Zink and Caden Gardner, who went 3-6 at the North Coast. Box 3A, the Southern Section 7th place team, the defending champions. They've been in the top 3 18 times, a state meet record. Dana Hill marching is 3rd in the San Diego section. Box 12B, the North Coast section champions. They've been in the top 3 8 times. Campolindo of Moraga. He finished 2-4 with freshman Caden Airhorn and sophomore Clark Gregory at the North Coast.
The starter is directly behind. On your mark. Here we go, boys Division III, California State Championship. Right to the front, the blue and white stripes. That's our defending 2-time defending state champ, Evan Noonan of Dana Hill.
I remember watching the live scores on my phone. I ran to like every point I could. I mean, I knew they could do it. They all knew they could do it. But actually watching them do it on the course was great. There was never a point where it was like, I don't know if they're gonna win, but definitely the first mile, it was like, are they at the right time? What's their positioning? Because there were so many people in the race and it's kind of hard to move up, especially with that many kids in one race in the first mile. And the race is 3 miles, so you have to get good positioning early.
Everybody in it, Noonan of Dana Hill, under his teammate also in that lead group. Team-wise, Campolindo does very well. Campolindo 135, West Torrance 250, Oakdale 253, Arch 281, Oak Park 304.
I came through the first mile. Caden and I came through like mid to low 440s, and that was really fast for me. That was pretty close to my mile PR. And so I remember just being like, did I go out too fast, and really getting up in my head about that. I remember seeing a bunch of kids, like maybe like 20 yards in front of me. Over the next like quarter mile, I wasn't making up any ground.
I think the point in the race that I really deeply, vividly remember is that last mile where like Andy's like, you cannot let people pass you, you know, you guys are gonna win this thing. And I'm getting passed, like I'm dying the last mile.
A lot of what went into my reemergence was wanting to be there for my teammates. I felt as if they expected something of me that I had shown in the past and I hadn't really been living up to. And of course it was partly wanting to prove myself, but my teammates needed me to be there. And our team's super deep, like we could have a lot of people on varsity squad, but I knew that the people who are going to be there are the people who are working hardest, and I wanted to be one of them.
I remember being super nervous, like seeing Clark get up there at the end, and then I thought that it was really close. And I saw Gavin coming in at the 5th, and he looked like he was kind of struggling a little bit. So I was really nervous, but they really pulled together. Like Jack had a great finish, Sid had a great finish. Like all of them really had a great race.
I felt amazing after crossing the finish line at state. I know a few of my teammates, they weren't so confident after the race. They went up to me and they were saying, oh, it's all my fault, like we probably didn't win. But I felt like the work that we all put in and how it seemed at the end of the race, I was still confident in our race, and I was able to reassure him that I think we came out on the top.
Leading up to the state meet, it was like we have a super young team, and we lost some seniors last year, and the year before that we lost even more seniors, and that was like, how are we going to be able to do something as challenging as winning the state meet? We didn't know if we could actually live up to that because of how young our team was. As the season progressed, it became clear that we were just as capable as the team 2 years ago, better than the team the year before, and that even though the team's so young, we were able to live up to those standards, and the seniors definitely led us to that. They had been on multiple state teams before, and they knew how to approach such a big race. And so with their leadership and our just overall determination, we were able to win the state.
Scoring 153 points, Campolindo.
Yeah, I think that the success really starts with everyone on the team, building the culture at practice during the summer. The experience, I think, is like one of the most important parts. Obviously, we want to win at the end of the season, and it's those 7 people up there with the medals. But it's everyone who contributes to the championship.
It was really exciting because just looking at the team and the boys that we have, and again all the other guys that aren't racing on the team that are also at practice every day. Just how deep of a team we have, and especially a lot of these athletes are young and still have 1 or 2 more years in their career is really exciting, because I think that everyone's only going to get better from here, and considering that we have more years to come from a lot of these athletes, I think the next few seasons will hopefully be even better.
Both Jack and Gavin were sick that day, so that was sort of uncertain, like how is it going to play out that way, but it was like they weren't sick. Everyone was so locked in mentally that it was like nothing, no sickness can really change that, and so that was the only doubt that we had coming in.
I was so certain that we had lost, but finding out we win, that was huge. That was really cool. That was the most exciting part for sure, because I just remember every teammate just breaking down in tears. It was really emotional.
The Cougars of Campolindo High School. Gentlemen, congratulations.
It's always super fun. The privilege of going to state is something that at Campo we almost take for granted, because we're a team that is able to do it every year. Being able to go to state was super fun. Getting into the vans with the team after doing well at NCS. Everyone's part of this one team, and it's a feeling that you can't really get in very many other places, just being part of this one team with one goal. And we're all just so happy because how hard we worked to get to this moment. This entire season had been an experience like nothing else. I was so grateful to everyone, and just experiencing that, just being with the team after the race with us all crying because we'd all accomplished the goal we'd set 6 months ago was amazing.
Soccer might be the most fun.
Are you kidding?
I see it as like a
2019 came. Dylan Gunn sat at this very table and said, first mile I was hurting bad. I could feel my butt closing up. And I was like, this is not good.
Well, you have 2 bottles.